your Chromebooks, look up here.
All right.
Yeah, you might want to just turn and then you'll be more comfortable probably. You can always turn all the way and then you go back if you need it. So part of our goals for you when you come through the program is to go on further from after getting GED. So part of that, we want to introduce you to a lot of different opportunities that are out there in our community. And when you came through orientation, one of those industries that Rachel talked to you about was the transportation industry, and that is big in this area. And it is a moneymaker in this area. So we brought today somebody from TDDS to speak to you about the opportunities that are with them and what you can do and go forward with them. And this is Otto Smith, and I'm going to turn it over to him from TDDS, and he's going to speak to you this morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is kind of like just laid back, but work for TDDS Tech in Lake Milton. We're a diesel tech and truck driving school, CDL training, Class A, Class B. School's been around since 1973, and really what sets us apart from other schools is hands-on training. Right now, there's a shortage of diesel technicians and truck drivers. I originally started with TDDS back in 1988, and if anybody in this room would have came to see me in 1988, I would have told you that you had to go over the road. There was no local jobs. Right now, with a lot of people retiring and unfortunately people not being able to pass the drug screen, there's all kind of jobs available. Local jobs, regional routes, and over the road. For example, we deal with a company in Lordstown called XPO. We have 22-year-old people making over $60,000 a year in their home every night. A lot of people think that truck driving, you know, dirty flannel shirt and all this and that. It's a profession right now that is so wide open that you can make a livable wage. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of people who are out here working 2 and 3 jobs, barely making it. This is a tough industry, but don't let, if there's any background history, we can work with that. The main thing is once you get your GED, that opens you up to federal funding, Pell Grants and student loans. There's other options for funding. If you're underemployed or unemployed, there's local agencies that may possibly pay for you to go to school and get your CDL. So we have 3 different Class A programs. Shortest program is 5 weeks. Then we have 2 programs that qualify for financial aid. One of them you train at our school for 10 weeks, 4 days a week. And then we have a part-time program that's Saturdays and Sundays only. It takes 19 weekends. While you are in school, there's over 20 trucking companies that come to the school trying to recruit our students before they even take their CDL test. So right now, Pepsi, Superior Beverage, Vista, not Vista anymore, Anderson DuBose. There's just so many opportunities. Now, do any of you guys know anybody that drive truck or? Okay. I don't know if you guys know Tydell Trailer from Warren, Ohio.
Yeah.
That young man came through probably about say 5, 6 years ago. He's doing very well. Diesel technician training. Anybody here like turning wrenches, working on cars and stuff like that? We just had 2 students come out. They started at $18 an hour. Can't find diesel techs. Okay? Now our diesel tech program is 50 weeks long, 2 weeks short of a year, and it's all hands-on. There's a lot of schools that have fancy equipment and this and that, but you never get to touch it. Our guys get dirty right away. They start breaking down tires, brakes, suspension systems, air brake systems. We tear down, like for example, if you guys came to school, you two, they might pair you together, you would tear a 855 engine down to the block, okay? And then you put it back together and it has to run. You have to start it. So cover electrical systems, we cover everything. The thing about it is has to be something you're interested in. Because if you're interested in it, we can help you. Any questions about anything?
How
Yes,
much
ma'am.
is that diesel class?
Good question. $20,720. And as part of that tuition, you get a 280-piece lifetime warranty gear wrench tool set. You also get a Class A CDL license as part of our diesel tech curriculum. So you can not only work on the trucks, you can actually test drive them after you work on them, or you can choose to drive. It gives you some options. And you're a more valuable employee if you come out as a diesel tech with your CDL. So it's just, you know, school's been around a long time, and we pride ourselves on hands-on training. In our truck driving program, the 2 with financial aid, you drive a truck almost 70 hours that you're actually behind the wheel. You take your CDL test right at the school. I mean, the companies come right there to get you. We have application on file for, say, 100 different companies. If there's a company you're interested in, we give you an application, you fill it out, you turn it back into us. We get it submitted and processed for you. We'll send the company your driving records, your physical, your drug screen. We do all the legwork. You just has to be something that you're interested in. There's men and women in our diesel tech program and CDL training program. And these companies don't discriminate. They come in, they want a driver. They need drivers bad. You guys look in the paper, look on Indeed. There's just so many jobs available. We can't fill the seats. But it has to be something that you're interested in. Yes, sir.
If you get your CDL license, that make you eligible to be able to drive for like UPS and FedEx too.
Absolutely. FedEx, okay, most of their jobs are contracted out. So we have Encore in Lake Milton. They're a carrier for FedEx. They recruited our school, okay? These guys make $750 to $1,200 a week. This is coming right out of school. These are not made up numbers. This industry has never been like this. Cannot get people that want to work. I hate to say it, but it's like the younger generation don't have the work ethic that some of us older folks have because we didn't have a choice.
Well, what limit of felon do they take?
See, every application is taken and looked at individually. So once we see that school application, that lets us know how and what we have to do to help you. So a felony does not disqualify you. And if you're concerned, the demand is so great, we can get you a job offer before you even come to school. There's no obligation. You can come in, we can go over the program in detail, and there's companies that we can have you fill out a company application, get it submitted for you, and they'll tell you whether or not you have a job waiting for you before you even start school. This is reality. You might say, well, 50 to 60,000 right out of school is like, that sounds like no way. Well, yes way. It's even higher for some companies. It's just, do you want to do the work? Yes, ma'am.
Do you help these folks find financial aid or help them?
Okay, yes we do. We have a full-time financial aid office, and it's federal funding through the U.S. Department of Education. There's no credit checks. It's all income-based. So right now, we're in the 18-19 school year, so they would use your income from 2016 to determine your eligibility for the grants and student loans. No credit checks, it's all income-based.
And remember, Pell Grants, you don't pay back. That's
correct.
free money to you to go to school.
All right, for example, that diesel tech program, young man asked me how much was the tuition, $20,720. If you qualified for the full Pell Grants, that could be over $11,000 of free money. The other, the balance covered by low interest student loans that you start paying back 6 months after you graduate. Now let's talk about that. The demand for drivers and techs is so great, a lot of companies have tuition reimbursement, okay? Where they pay back your student loan for you without signing a contract.
They give you like a sign-on bonus, I see, so then you have
Some give
money to...
Yes, some give sign-on bonuses plus tuition reimbursement. Now, for example, Schneider National, right now, I think they got like a $5,000 sign-on bonus plus tuition reimbursement. How that works, they're not going to give you $5,000 up front. Maybe after you work 90 days, they'll give you like $1,500, and then so down the line, they'll spread that out.
Ain't they over the road though? Snyder?
They are over the road, but they also have local routes. Most companies are diversified, so they're not all over the road. We got about 9 or 10 steel haulers that come in to recruit. Some of them, you're gone 5 days, you're home on the weekend.
And this make us, like, if we get it and finish the class, this make us eligible to drive anywhere in the United States.
That's correct.
So wherever I
Your
move, I can
CDL
take it
license
with
is
me.
good in all 50 states.
Good question.
That is a good question. Yes, ma'am.
Just to define, what is the difference between over-the-road, regional, and local drivers?
Local drivers are home every night, okay? Most of those jobs, you work 10 hours, at least 10 hours a day, okay? Regional routes might be where you're just going overnight once or twice a week. I got a kid from Newton Falls, he has a dedicated route with Transport America. They're also out in North Jackson on Bailey Road. And he leaves Sunday, he goes to New Jersey, he's home Tuesday night. He leaves back to New Jersey, he's home Thursday night. He leaves back to New Jersey, he's home Saturday night and off Sunday. He makes $1,200 a week. A week. So the money's definitely there. Our diesel techs, once you get, it goes in 4 different units. We start you off on basics and we bring you along in stages. Once you get the second unit, we help you get a job. So we got a kid right now from Warren, Ohio, who's working for, oh gosh, Tree Trimming Express. I think it's up near Garrettsville or somewhere like that. And he's making $14 an hour while he's in school. So, you know, we have great job placement. We do everything we can to help our students succeed, and that's why we've been so successful. Now, student loans, okay? One important thing is default rates. For technical schools like us, we're held to a higher standard. Our default rate on our student loans is 10.9%, which is almost unheard of. But we have a default management department that will stay in contact with you if you're having trouble making your student loan payments. First of all, we're going to say, hey, do you need help getting another job? Okay? If not, we tell you how to get into deferment or forbearance to keep you out of default. Questions, concerns? And don't, you know, there's a lot of, you know, female drivers and techs. I mean, we got one little girl, you think, why would you ever be turning wrenches, getting all greasy? I mean, she's a pretty little thing, you know what I mean? But these women are doing it just like the men because it's a good paying job. There it is. That's what it's all about.
Is her name Kate? Is her name Kate?
Could be. I'm not allowed to discuss certain things, but I think her name starts with a K. She's doing well, by the way. Doing very well. Very well. So it's just, you know, these are options. Not easy jobs, but great paying jobs, steady pay, retirement, health benefits, paid vacations. All these companies offer all this stuff.
I was gonna say, no job's easy. I don't feel like working at McDonald's is easy, so you're gonna have, might as well be making money.
Right.
Right.
Right?
What are some of the common challenges people say in the trucking industry?
Lifestyle, dealing with four-wheelers, dealing with, you know, people in cars cutting you off and not letting you in and stuff like that. But we teach defensive driving. You take a defensive driving course as part of our curriculum for a CDL driver. You get a certificate for taking that defensive driving course, and that helps save the trucking companies on insurance. Yes, sir.
Don't you think you guys probably have like less people getting into this because it's more like truck accidents happening and more people dying in truck accidents?
I don't think so. I think it has more to do with just, you know, it's a tough job. Driving truck is tough. A lot of guys, I want local, okay? We had a kid, worked over here at Taco Bell. He was a manager. He talked to the delivery driver. Delivery driver says, I make $85,000 a year. Okay? These are not made up numbers. So he paid cash to come and do our 5-week program. Got a local job, I think it was with Pepsi, right out of school. Well, guess what? When you're local, whether you go with Superior Beverage and you're hauling beer and pop and stuff like that, guess what? You have to stop, make a lot of stops every day. And most of them, you have to load your truck. You have to, of course, you got to unload. And you're dealing with, you know, getting into Circle K's and dollar stores. You know, you're dealing with traffic and stuff like that. So local, you're home every night. You work long hours. money's good, but this kid, he actually came back and said he needed something different, because it was too much for him. Once you come out of school, no company just gives you the keys to a truck and say, have a nice day. They put you through 4 to 6 weeks of additional training.
Now, what you do there, you say?
I'm an admissions rep. So in other words, you would fill out, I'm the guy you would talk to get into school. I would help you with your school application. I would go over your application. And nobody gets into our school unless you're employable. There's a lot of schools will take anybody, just, but we make sure every student's employable before they come into our programs.
Employable, what's that, what you mean employable?
In other words, we're not gonna let you in school unless we know we can help you get a job. It's just the way it is. That's because we have to make sure you get a job so you can pay back your student loan.
Why is it so much, though?
Oh, it's very low comparative to other schools, young man.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, sir.
20,000 sound like a lot, right? My max. What we getting for the, I mean,
Yeah,
you said,
but-
how much is the 5-week class, you say?
Our 5-week truck driving class is $6,030.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And what that do for you? They give you your
That gives you your Class A CDL license. Before you get out of school, odds are you'll have 3 or 4 job offers. And most of the time, these companies, as soon as you pass your CDL, you give them a call and you're going to orientation. It could be Indianapolis, it could be anywhere. We just had a young lady, they flew her to Texas, Trans Am. That's where their orientation is. So you got to look at the investment. I've been with TDDS for 10 years, and I see a lot of people come in on their school application. We ask you, have you ever had a student loan? Is it in repayment? Are you in default? And I see a lot of people with student loans that, okay, for example, I hate to say this, but criminal justice. People have a degree in criminal justice, and they're not able to get a job because you have to go further than that degree to get into the police or to what have you. So they have all these student loans, and what's the job outlook for them? In this industry, your investment is a good investment. $6,030, and you get out of school and you start making $1,000 a week.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean,
In 6 weeks, you got your money back.
So how you get to your position? Your position seems like it's hard.
well, I actually, when I started in 1988 with this company, I worked there for 6 years, okay? I was supposed to be the maintenance man. I was going, I graduated with Mr. Rathburn's son, Rick. Mr. Rathburn has since passed, and Rick runs the school now.
So
in
you had some
1988
sorority then. You had some.
Well,
you knew somebody.
Well, I was going there to cut grass, young man, and
Yeah,
Mr.
oh, yeah.
Rathburn goes, what about a sales job, Otto? I said, okay, when do I start? He goes, right now. So I worked there for 6 years. I moved out of state and ran an office in Zelienople, PA.
Oh,
Actually in
Zelienople?
Cranberry, PA, but I lived in Zelienople,
Oh yeah, that's nice up there.
okay? And we had a West Virginia office, Toledo office, Cleveland office. Make a long story short, they closed them all, brought me back to TDDS, and go like this one day and go, here's your new pay scale. I said, that ain't happening, man. I just moved out of state, put 40,000 miles on my car. So they fired me for not taking a pay cut. But see, this is where, I don't know, maybe my upbringing, I didn't turn into a dick, you know. I took it, they made a business decision. I had a new wife, I had a new baby. What am I gonna do? So I saw an ad in the paper for Martin Chevrolet down here, when they were down here.
Mm-hmm.
So I got in the car business, 25 years, Chevy Hall of Fame, okay? So then, next thing you know, my manager at the dealership's like, call Rick Rathburn, the guy's blowing you up, he wants something. Well, Rick wanted me to come back to the school. So, I stalled him out, and when I finally did meet with them, my first question was, what's the default rate, man? Because if it's crazy and we're not gonna be in business because we don't have funding, I'm not coming. Default rate's really low. So he made me an offer that I don't have to beat the pavement anymore selling
Right.
cars. So, and it's a program I always believed in. I've seen a lot of people sit on that side of the desk struggling. And I mean struggling, trust me. You don't know my history, man, but I was PO. I wasn't even poor. I was just PO.
Right.
I'm number 8 out of 10 kids, man.
Right.
All right, same mom, same dad, but my dad left when I was 5. So there you go. What you gonna do, Otto? You know? So, you know, not everything's easy for people. Some people go through a lot of stuff that you don't know about. The thing is, if you're going through hell, don't stop.
Right.
Just keep going, and you get out.
Yeah.
But when somebody gives you an opportunity, that's when you gotta put in the work. Now, I'm sure if I was a terrible salesperson, they wouldn't ask me to come back,
Right.
you know, so. But, it's a great industry. I mean, the jobs, stability, benefits, it's there. The key is that it has to be something that you're interested in. Otherwise, it's not gonna work for you guys or for us.
Don't y'all got an office in Indiana or something?
No, sir. One school, that's in Lake Milton, Ohio, and we don't have any outside offices anymore.
I think I tried to go to a trucking school, but my license wasn't too good, so
There's certain requirements.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
certain requirements. You have to have a
I
decent
had like too
driver.
many speeding tickets. They told me I had to wait so long.
Right, that's correct. The whole industry's insurance driven. It's crazy. You got people with valid Class A licenses that haven't driven in 2 years, and for insurance reasons, you gotta go get a refresher course, or you gotta go back to
So
school.
what's all the different classes? Like A, B, and C, right?
We do A and B training.
Okay.
B would be your dump trucks,
Right, okay.
and we do passenger bus training. We no longer do school bus training. The state came in about 3 years ago, pulled our stickers and said you can't do school bus training because you don't haul students, so. They made us paint our bus from yellow to white, so we do passenger training. And Anderson Tours, one of the tour bus companies, comes in and recruits our students from time to time. We have the railroads that come in to recruit our students from time to time.
That's a good job.
I'm gonna give you an example. Probably about 3 years ago, we had a diesel tech company call the school. And they said, we want your guy that didn't miss a day. We don't want the guy with the highest grade point average. We want the guy that didn't miss one day of school. And you know what? Sad to say, we couldn't give him to anybody. The guy was looking for somebody who was gonna show up every day. And that job started at $27.50 an hour, and we couldn't give him anybody.
Where that job at?
You have to show up every day.
Yeah, I would for that. Why not? Ain't nothing else to show up for. What that?
And you mentioned UPS earlier. We just got, on March 19th, we got an inquiry for a driver, starting at like $28.65 an hour.
Yeah, your record gotta be clean for that. I wish somebody would've told us
There's
that in
other
school.
opportunities. I'm telling you, your history now with the demand for drivers, we can help a person. Now, that being said, I had a young man from Cleveland who had a pre-hire. That means he has some background criminal history. So, but he had a job offer, he had a job waiting for him. Well, with all these companies coming in to recruit, he's hearing all these good things and good numbers and stuff like that. His company didn't pay as well, so he actually got upset and blah, blah, blah. And he didn't end up making it. Because he instead of staying focused, everybody's situation is different. He had a job waiting for him. It wasn't the best paying job, but it was a good paying job. But he had some issues and they got crazy and he didn't make it.
Well, that's why I asked you. I heard they put like the felons on the back burner. They give
That's
them,
not
like,
true.
They
That's
give them
not-
like the bull crap jobs.
That's not true. That's not true. Maybe you wouldn't qualify
Like the
for
over the road.
UPS. Well, it's not necessarily true that you gotta go over a road if you have a felony.
That's what you're saying, when they apply, you look at the
Each
application
individual application, individual.
and any felonies or driver's license problems, and then you're up front and say, hey.
This is what it's gonna
Yeah.
take for us to help you, absolutely. Now, there's some folks with bad driving records that will switch to diesel tech because they're still getting a Class A CDL license with the diesel tech program. The program is 50 weeks, it's almost a year. So some people will go, I would say, come through the back door to get to where they're trying to get. Do you know what I'm saying?
They got there.
Yeah, but you'll get there.
And then one day their license will be good enough.
Yes. The thing is, no matter what your situation is, there's hope. There's ways you can be helped. You can't be discouraged.
Do you see a lot of female truck drivers?
More than ever. More than ever. I don't know if you guys will see our electronic billboards. I don't know if we have any around here, but there's a girl, Cheyenne, from the Ravenna area that she's on there, and she's doing well. We had a little girl from Niles about 4 years ago, this tall, quiet, just, and my boss goes, oh, they're gonna eat her up. Well, she's still driving. Still posting pictures on Facebook with her and her dog in the truck. You know, a lot of companies will let you take your pet with you as long as they meet certain criteria. So, I tell some folks when they come in and they don't know I said, if Alexis can do it, man, anybody can do it. You know, all you have to do is apply yourself, and we help you. So whatever you want to do, whether it's diesel tech training or truck driver training, maybe it's something else. Whatever you want to do, you got to give it 100%. Gotta give it 100%. Some of our students have become trainers, you know, where they're having our previous students train the new drivers. When you come out of our school, it's not like, and I'm not going to talk about any other schools, I'm going to tell you what we do. The amount of time you actually get to drive that truck with the 2 financial aid programs, almost 70 hours, 70, that you're behind the wheel. You take your CDL test at the school. When you go to take your road test, unfortunately, for the state, that's our training route. The state cannot tell us where to train our students on the road. They can keep you off the maneuverability testing site. But when you go take your road test, that's where you've been practicing the whole time.
Don't sound bad.
So there are options, but it is going to take some work. I had a young man from Warren, Ohio. He paid cash for a 5-week program, and my brother was in St. Joe's Hospital. God rest his soul. So I go to see my brother because, you know, it's a bad situation. And I'm coming out, and here comes a student. I'm like, this cat should be in school. So I get to school, and I find out that he quit. He said he didn't think it was going to be that difficult. So there will be studying involved. There are, you know, it's not just here you go. You got to earn it. I mean, we help you, but there's certain things you got to learn. We go over DOT regulations, shifting patterns, gear patterns, air brake systems. We teach you how to chain and tarp in case you happen to haul steel. Great program, man. We've been around a long time, and we've had a lot of success. And if it's something that you're interested in, the bottom line is we can help you.
You gotta do team run out there?
We have one company called Covenant and Schneider National. We just had a young couple come in together, and matter of fact, they popped in yesterday to get their enrollment agreement because they both paid cash, so that Schneider would have their contract to see what they paid so that they can get reimbursed. But they're going to be a husband and wife team with Schneider.
Don't Snyder haul like, what they haul, glass?
Everything.
Yeah.
They have tankers, they have everything.
No, they orange or something. Orange truck. Yeah, my pop's a truck driver. He been doing it for like 30 years. So he be telling me, he just say don't go over road.
He works for
Cause,
ABI.
cause
Okay.
then you sit, you don't get paid, like you run out of time. But he do team run right now. He love it.
Okay. Me personally, I don't know if I could trust somebody driving while I'm sleeping, man.
Yeah, you gotta
What you
know
mean,
him,
you ain't
right?
ever been like on a road trip and
Yeah, I
fell
won't let
asleep?
nobody drive, man. I'm driving myself.
Yeah, that's how I am. I gotta drive.
I'm in control of my own destiny.
I'm gonna die, it's gonna be my fault.
That's right.
Y'all want a certain physical requirement for this job?
You do have to pass the DOT physical. They'll check your blood pressure, your eyes, your hearing. Our students are randomly drug tested. We tell them that that's part of the process.
With
And
students or after
students
you?
and instructors,
Uh-huh.
randomly drug tested. It is what it is. I mean, you're responsible for a lot, very expensive piece of equipment, and who knows what you're hauling. You could be hauling $500,000 worth of product. Who knows? You know, so just a couple more options for
We're
you.
running out of questions.
Well, you guys have asked some good questions.
So this is just a couple options. I mean, there are probably gonna be other options for you, but if you wanna get in this industry,
What's all the requirements though? Like you gotta have GED, diploma, what?
you have to have we're a Title IV funded school, so you have to have Well, Mr. Obama's the one that changed the laws, okay? Used to be that if you didn't have a GED, we could give you an ATB test, ability to benefit test, to make sure you can benefit from this type of training. But Mr. Obama says, hey, if you're gonna get federal funding, you better have at least a GED. So that's Mr. Obama did that. And,
Yeah, but I guess that's kind of better though.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, to push yourself to do more in life.
Yeah. So it's a good thing to get your GED.
What do the janitor make out there at TDDS?
I can't answer that question, but we do have a janitor. You know, you ain't gotta be the janitor though, man.
Right.
You know, I mean, I flip. When I got kicked out of college for fighting, because you know, whatever. And I worked at Bob Evans for 4.5 years. I started as a bus boy wearing the bow tie, the white shirts and dress pants, and then worked my way up to grill line. Well, you know, that can only take you so far. You know, but I actually worked, you know, at 76 truck stop cooking at the same time. So, you know, it goes back to work ethic. What do you want out of life? You know, do you want to be able to go out to dinner? Do you want to be able to go on a little vacation, live life? You know what I mean? That's all everybody wants, is just to be able to live life, you know, and be able to do stuff without being stressed and pressed.
So how you like your job? Is it just a job, or do you be like in the morning like, yes, I'm ready to go, or it's like,
No.
it is what it is?
Nobody wants to go to work in
No,
the
I used to be
morning.
hyped to go to work. I knew that check was coming on Friday.
I do like my job, I do enjoy it, but it's like any other job, man, there's issues. I mean, you know, you might see a student that you worked with another rep, and you're like, what's going on, you know what I mean, or, you know, so, I do enjoy my job, I do enjoy helping people, man, but, oh, man, I mean, this is real life, you know?
Oh yeah.
I don't, other than being a pro golfer, man, I don't know what other job I would enjoy getting out and doing every day.
Right.
You know, but I do enjoy my job, and what I really get a kick out of is when somebody comes back and they just say, thanks, man. This is life-changing. Life-changing.
Oh, this money talk.
If you want it, you can get it. I don't care if it's this industry or any industry.
What's the most paying diesel tech, like out of Ohio, or you know, I mean, what's the highest they could go?
What, $30 something an hour?
They don't wanna do that.
$30-something an hour. That's not crazy. So you got a card or paper?
I do have, man, I couldn't find this place, man. My car is parked half a mile that way. So I do have some information. I got diesel tech information. I have CDL training information that I can bring back in if you guys are interested in that.
I am. That's why I asked.
Okay.
What jobs out of diesel tech? Like, where would you work for them?
For example, you ever hear of Big Blue?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're right up here.
Street all the time.
What?
That goes up and down my mom's street all
I
the
think
time.
they're
Oh,
off
okay,
of
Big Blue.
Larchmont. We just had a guy start over there at $18 an hour as a diesel tech.
Oh, okay.
And it's not everybody. Like 3 years ago, the starting wage, $14 to $20 an hour. Now with the demand getting greater, the wages are going up. It's the same thing with truck driving. The wages are going up because they need to keep, it costs a lot of money to train a driver and get a driver, but they want to keep people.
Do it take longer the B class, does it take longer than
Our B class is 3 weeks long. 2 weeks of class, 1 week of driving. It's $4,030, but there's no funding. That program is not long enough.
non-fundable?
So that'd be cash, credit card.
And that's like the dump trucks and stuff, right?
Yes.
How much they be making around here? Like if you owned your own dump truck.
Oh, jeez, oh, man. You guys know Rod Sparks? He's a local warm boy. He got his CDL like 20-something years ago. He actually owns a dump truck. And he makes 30-something an hour.
What do you do? Tear down the houses or something?
Nope, all he does is pull up and they load him up, or he drops asphalt or whatever, goes and gets another load, comes back,
See, I like that.
stuff like that.
Local, right?
Yep.
My grandpa used to do that for a company in South Carolina when I stayed down there, the Armstrong Company.
You get a CDL license, you can work for the Warren City, the dump trucks. We get, the guy out of Cleveland comes down, the plow trucks, dump trucks, pulling equipment for the city.
Cement, what about a cement truck?
Yep. We have, like Leiden Oil, that's one company, that's a local job. You see them, they just hauling the the fuel trucks, the little fuel trucks, or, you know, you could do stuff like that, so.
Well, Drake, do you have anything?
I had to take my son to school this morning, so I'm a little late. I have no idea what the open house TCTC on April 18th is, if someone could enlighten me.
That's later, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now.
All right, sweet. Then no, I don't drive, ever.
It's not for everybody.
Anyone have anything to say since I'm still?
All right, anybody have anything else?
No, you gave us some good
Then
info.
we thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.